Ladies and gentlemen, my name is
Scott.
Hey, yo. Is that his younger brother? It's gonna be
Jef.
The cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
And you're listening to
all of the great action figures from our good friends at Hasbro.
The Fullyposeable.
Have your own WrestleMania with all your favorite figures.
Wrestling figure.
Each sold separately from LJN.
Podcast.
And we are the Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling.
Hey, welcome to episode 536 of the Fullyposeable Wrestling Figure Podcast, longest running episodic wrestling figure podcast going today. My name is Jef and Scott. Alongside next to me is my real life brother, not storyline brother, Scott. Scott, say hello.
Hello.
Scott, what's going on, dude?
No, what's going on with you? You just got back from Colorado. You had a busy ass week.
Yeah, had to be out there for work, but that's okay. Hit up Walmart, hit up Target, saw nothing, bought nothing. And yeah, that's all.
Oh, wow. So you did some international toy spotting, but came up empty-handed.
Empty-handed. No new LJNs. No. Actually, the Walmart we went to didn't even have any superstars. So I don't know how many people have seen this out there. But a lot of Walmarts still have Zeus and Iron Sheik. And you may see Ricky Steamboat or, the older series, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Dude, they had 0 superstars on those shelves.
Wow.
I know this is getting frustrating, dude, because I've been hunting for Series 16 with the Steiners and obviously coming up short. So
secondary market it is. And that's the problem with Walmart having exclusives. We've been bitching about it for years and it's not going to change, you guys.
Dude, can you believe we've been bitching about this for 8 or 9 years?
Same old story.
Same old
Walmart
story.
knows how to take a reservation. Did you watch the Hogan doc on Netflix yet?
Okay, so I got through the first 2 episodes. So far through the first 2, everything I pretty much knew. So
that's kind of the consensus. And you'll be able to watch the next 2 episodes and know a majority of that too. There is very little. I mean, look, everybody listening to the show most likely been a wrestling fan for years, right? There's very little that they're going to tell you in this 4-episode documentary that you don't already know. It's a lot of rehash. It's all stuff we've seen in other Hogan documentaries. What are your feelings about Hogan after just watching 2 episodes? Is your opinion changed? Is it the same?
No, he's still a liar. Like, he talks on camera and I'm like, okay, is he lying about this? And you kind of try to just sift through the bullshit, So
exactly. Yeah. I was waiting for him to talk about his time in Metallica.
No. He tried out for Metallica during the Hulkamania height,
Yeah, he had to turn them down. Yeah.
He turned down James Lars and Kirk. So
Metallica's not going to work for me, brother. I think we should change our name to the Hulkamaniacs.
Making millions of dollars doing this Hulkamania thing, and then I'm going to go be a bassist for Metallica.
Yeah. Sorry, Mr. T. WrestleMania is on hold.
Yeah. So I can go
play Master of Puppets.
But so far through the first 2 episodes, 1, I'm trying to sift through the bullshit. What's real? What isn't real? 2, this is stuff we've already known. Like if you grew up in the 80s and you've watched numerous Hogan documentaries and you read books and all this stuff, they're not telling you anything you don't know. So that's kind of where it's at the first 2 episodes.
Okay. So I did finish it. I finished all 4 episodes. And honestly, at the end of it, I was more mad at Hogan.
Okay.
And I'm more mad at Hogan. Yeah, I'll explain. Is that what you were going to ask me? Explain why I'm more mad at Hogan?
Can you explain why you're more mad at Hogan without spoiling anything?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Because if you were to do the greatest athlete of any given sport, or with wrestling, it's a quote unquote sport, you're going to make not a Mount Rushmore per se, but like the top of the class. You're talking Jordan. You're talking Wayne Gretzky. You're talking Muhammad Ali. You're talking Babe Ruth. And in wrestling, it's Hulk Hogan. All of those other names I mentioned, when they passed or when they do pass, there is going to be memorial after memorial for them, celebrating all of their achievements, celebrating their entire life. And it's going to be almost unanimous for each of those names I mentioned previously, with the exception of Hulk Hogan. Hogan was so divided in his fan base when he passed, but that shouldn't have been the case. And we all know what he did. I don't need to rehash any of that. But it's like one of those things like, okay, the lying, we could probably get past that and it would just be funny, right? Like the Hulkster in heaven, that's never not going to be funny to me. The Metallica bassist thing, that's never not going to be funny to me. But there are certain things that you can't overlook. And what he did is one of those things. And it sucks because you watch everything he did and what he meant to people at the height of his popularity. And man, that should be celebrated. We should have been crushed as a fan base when Hogan died. Just as the basketball world, God forbid Michael Jordan pass away.
Let's not talk about that.
Well, but when it happens, right, the basketball world is going to be just crushed. And there's going to be a huge rush on his memorabilia. There's going to be set after set of cards, action figures put out when Jordan something happens. It's going to be a celebration. And I'm just saying that should have happened with Hogan. And we're not getting it. We're not feeling it. Well, I shouldn't say I'm not going to speak for everybody. It seems to be very polarizing. But it just sucks, right? There should have been a whole thing when he passed. And there kind of was, but not to the magnitude that if he hadn't done what he did, it would have been an entirely different story. And that's why I walked away from those 4 episodes of the documentary just really kind of mad. Because when we were growing up, Hulk Hogan was a hero, right? He could do no wrong. He was the big guy on the card. You know, he was the savior of wrestling. And that's not even saying that he's not the savior of wrestling, because a lot of people would argue that he is. Without Hogan, who knows what wrestling is today? You know, you can what if that all day. But there should have been more of a celebration of what he achieved and what he did for wrestling. And we just didn't get it. And when you finish those 4 episodes, it reminds you of the impact that he had, not just on wrestling, but on us as fans. And that should have had a bigger celebration around it. But it just goes to show actions have consequences. And Hogan is absolute living proof of that. Just to kind of continue my my list of grievances here, Jeff. How many main events, better yet, how many WrestleManias did Sid wrestle at?
How many WrestleManias did Sid wrestle at?
Correct. We're going to go off top of the dome here.
Okay, so 8. He wasn't at 9. Sid wasn't at 10. Oh, was he at 11? No, he was at
11, but he did not wrestle.
Right.
How many did he wrestle at?
Okay, wrestle. So he wrestled at 8. You wrestled at 13, 14, 15. 2.
How many did he main event?
2.
How many times was he heavyweight champion? That one may get you.
Oh, crap. Okay.
Well, you're on a roll with the answers you've been given.
Okay, so he beat Shawn.
Yep. Survivor Series 96.
He lost it to Taker.
At 13. A WrestleMania he main evented, by the way.
Okay, wait. So he lost it to Taker. He never won it back. So once.
Well, he beat Shawn at Survivor Series 96, right?
Right.
But then at WrestleMania 13,
he main evented. He lost it to Taker, but he main evented it with the title.
But he lost the title back to Shawn after he beat him at Survivor Series 96. So he lost it to Shawn.
Oh,
and then he lost it to Taker. So who did he beat to get to Taker?
Oh, he beat
your guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say he beat Brett for it, didn't he?
He did. So how many world titles did he win?
2.
Okay. Wrestled at 2 WrestleManias, main evented both. Main evented. Also was heavyweight champion twice. Why was he given a crappy spot in the legacy wing of the Hall of Fame?
Oh, damn. We went straight from Hogan to this. Like I sorry. I thought you were setting me up for a Hogan Sid comparison thing.
Oh, not at all. No, I'm changing gears, dude. I'm off. We're done with Hogan right now. Like now we're on to Sid because this is a whole other grievance for me.
Okay.
Just to kind of echo what Sid's own son, Gunner, said.
Oh, what did Gunner say?
Well, and Jim Ross too. Just that it was a big joke. Like, why wasn't he given a proper induction into the Hall of Fame? Why was he stuck into the legacy wing? Like, that's for SD Jones, dude, not Sid.
What is legacy wing anyways?
Basically, it's just like Hall of Fame light almost. It's almost like an honorable mention.
Because Bad News Brown got the legacy wing, didn't he?
I believe so. Yeah.
To me, legacy wing means Iron Mike Sharp, SD Jones,
guys that were a part of the history.
Italian
right?
Stallion.
But
yeah.
Right. Brad Armstrong, I think, would be great into the legacy wing. Tim
Dwayne
Warner.
Gill.
The Mulkeys. Okay, stop. Stop.
All
We're
right,
carried away.
all right,
We're going to spend an hour and a half just doing like jobbers from Rocky King. Stop it. That's enough. What didn't Sid do to deserve a spot in the Hall of Fame? Main event 2 WrestleManias. Thank you. WrestleMania main event twice. Won 2 heavyweight titles. By the way, beating 2 first ballot Hall of Famers in Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. And I'm at a loss, dude. I'm at a loss. And I hate to keep going back to Coco Beware. I love Coco Beware. Right? But unfortunately for Coco Beware, he is the low bar in the Hall of Fame. Anybody that's done a little bit more than Coco Beware, you know what? This is wrong. I'm even going to throw the Bushwhackers in there. 0 tag team titles in the WWF. And they're into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. You know why?
Why?
Because the Bushwhackers were on bed sheets. That's why.
It's a good point. That's a good point, Jeff. They were on bed sheets.
If you think about it, everybody that was on that bed sheet was in the Hall of Fame.
Damn it, Sid just missed out, dude. If he would have just been able to miss that season of softball, he would have been on those damn bed sheets and he would have had a spot in the damn Hall of Fame.
He's not a legacy wing guy. I mean, he went to WCW, won titles there. You just read off his accolades in WWE. Dude, there's no way he should be in a quote unquote legacy wing. No,
and he's also a former Four Horsemen member. You know, the impact he had on WCW, if he didn't have injuries, man, capable of so much. And I'm not even going to count his WCW titles, right? Because after he finished up with the Attitude Era, he went on to ECW, had an impact there. He went on to WCW. He won world titles there. We all remember the gruesome leg injury, but that was just doing what WCW told him to do. He was being a team player, broke his leg. So it pisses me off, dude. And I could go into a whole thing on WWE right now with the whole TKO. And even Nash said, WrestleMania felt soulless this year.
With that said, everybody knows where to get our shirts. You guys know where to listen to us because you're doing that right now. And if you would like to send any audio questions or any questions at all, send on over to Fullyposeable WFP at gmail.com. Before we get into what Scott picked up, because I just told you guys, I did pick up one thing. I just received my Dragon Lee. Here I've been promoting BBTS, Boss Fight Studio, Dragon Lee. I just got it. And again, Boss Fight Studios just kills it. Their stuff is so good, and this Dragon Lee is no different. It's got the cape or the robe. It's the mask. I mean, it's Dragon Lee. You look at it and you're like, wow, that's a great depiction of Dragon Lee.
You going to open it or you keep it on card?
Well, that's the tough thing. As far as I know, and I haven't seen anything else, WWE wrestlers can't sign anything outside of WWE products. So, for example, Mattel, so
gotcha.
That's why I'm kind of waiting on this Cody thing. I'm going to be waiting for a while on Cody to get that Blood and Guts 2-pack finished off with him and Dustin.
Right.
But, hypothetically, and I'm not wishing this because we're going to get into this here shortly, if Dragon Lee were to ever leave WWE, this is the first thing I would get signed. So I'm going to keep it on card until I don't want him to leave. I love Dragon Lee. He's one of my favorite wrestlers. I love watching him wrestle and stuff. He always has been. But with that said, if he were to get released, then this is the first thing I get Dragon Lee to sign.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, leave it mint on card then.
Exactly. And that will kind of segue into releases that just happened this past week. Scott, you wanted to talk about this. You guys have probably already seen it. Aleister Black, Selena Vega, all of the Wyatt Six, Motor City Machine Guns, which I was sad about. Apollo Crews, Santos Escobar, Zoe Stark, Alba Fire, Andre Chase, and Dante Chen. That's a laundry list of names right there.
Yeah, and really surprising too, right? Like Aleister Black, it doesn't even seem like he's been back that long. And it seemed like they just didn't really know what to do with him. They were just kind of tossing him around and throwing them into different matches. And look, for that entire list, I just feel horrible, and I want to see them end up somewhere. The good thing is that WWE is not a monopoly, right? There's other places that they can go. Obviously, TNA, AEW. AEW also has Ring of Honor. I mean, who would have thought that the Maximum male models would really go on to do much after their WWE release? But look at them on Ring of Honor. They're flourishing. Mm-hmm. So there's always a place for these guys to go. And that is the good thing about not having that WWE monopoly in place anymore. So just all the best to those guys. It sucks. And Mattel was putting out kick-ass figures of the Wyatt Six, and then they go and drop them. We didn't even get an Aleister Black on his return in figure form. That doesn't mean there aren't any in the pipeline, but I mean, even if there are, those might be on the way out now. Yeah, shelved for future consideration. But it just sucks. I always hate this time of year because you always know right around WrestleMania those releases are coming. And it's a little bit hard to swallow when you see how much money TKO is making off of WWE, and then they can't afford to pay some of these guys. It's like, come on. That's just, it just reeks of greed, and I hate it. And all the best to those guys. I want to see them flourish somewhere else. Kind of stick it to WWE too. Like, we were capable. You just didn't know what to do with us. We're going to go somewhere else and show the world. And I want to see all of them do that.
Motor City Machine Guns. I'm hoping they jump over to AEW, because the matches that they can have, because AEW's tag team division is strong. You know, you got FTR, you got the Bucks, you got Edge and Christian just recently, you know, yada, yada, you go down the list. Motor City Machine Guns would be a great fit for that group. So I'm hoping that they land over there. We'll see what happens with Aleister Black. Maybe he ends up back over at AEW. We'll see what goes on. You know, definitely you hate this time of the year, as Scott just mentioned, but we're all rooting for them.
Oh, 100%. 100%. If you see them at an autograph signing, definitely show up, support them. Jeff, you got me kind of salivating a little bit at the idea of Motor City Machine Guns versus FTR. That would be an incredible matchup. Or even against the Young Bucks, it would just be amazing. So yeah, all the best to all those guys that got released. I hate this time of year for that.
Also, a little bit of news, WrestleCon news. So WrestleCon sent out was it a Facebook post or a Twitter post or whatnot, whatever. It was on social media. WrestleCon said, "We have a long way to go. We are not convinced WrestleMania won't end up back in the US, given everything that is happening in the Middle East. If it does, in fact, remain in Saudi, WrestleCon and others have discussed how to build a destination weekend for those interested. The only real decision is the city and date. In the meantime, we'll be announcing our plans for Minneapolis next week. We will have a 3-day event, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that includes an official hotel group rate."
There you go. It just depends on what happens with current world events.
Exactly. So WrestleCon is keeping their heads in the game right now. They're kind of up to something. But, you know, as they mentioned with current events, WrestleMania may be back here. And you and I talked about this. You know, they owe Indy a WrestleMania. They owe New Orleans a WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So those are two you could just get done right now. You know, if you owe Indy, might as well get it done next year. Although Indianapolis, ugh.
It reminds me of that scene in Wayne's World when they have the green screen behind them and they're traveling through all those cities. And then they're all, "We're in Delaware."
Oh man, I don't know, dude. Indianapolis is not a destination city, but I don't know. We'll see next year. Because
no
next year
to Indianapolis and those fans listening there.
I know. If you're from Indy and you love it there, you know, kudos. I'm happy you're happy. But next year was supposed to be my Hawaii year. With them going to Saudi Arabia, I'm saving up to go to Hawaii next year. So we'll see if any WrestleMania destination makes it into the plans next year.
Well, it's funny. I seem to have a new WrestleMania on my calendar every year now, Jeff.
What's that?
The Kiss Cruise.
Oh, you're doing it again.
We got tickets this morning.
Oh, did it break the bank?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going to be paying this one off. And it was funny because when I walked out of there last year, I'm like, you know what? I was talking to Shannon. I'm like, I'm good. I don't think I'd do this again. It was cool. It was fun, but I think I got my fill. I think I'm good. And just when you think you're out, they pull you right back in, because as soon as I got the email, hey, Kiss Cruise is happening again in Vegas, same time in November, I'm like, you son of a bitch, I'm in. They had me, dude, like hook, line, and sinker. I was full on in. Since I went last year, I was able to get early access tickets today. Technically, they went on sale the day before. So we're recording Friday this week, May 1st. They technically went on sale April 30th for people in the KISS VIP army. I'm not paying for that. I went last year, so I got it was almost like a legacy invite in.
Oh,
and
nice.
so I used that. Yeah, I used that to get in. So yeah, we're going to be in Vegas again in November for the KISS quote unquote cruise.
Yeah,
that's on land in a hotel
in Vegas.
In Vegas, yeah, and it's such a blast. We'll be there Thursday through Monday because they're doing like a pre-party thing on Thursday night, so we'll be there for that. So I can't wait, dude. It's going to be awesome. Faster Pussycats on the bill. Chris Jericho's 80s Kiss cover band Quarantine is on the bill. Keel, Slaughter. It's going to be awesome.
Key and Peele, awesome.
Yeah, Key and Peele, dude. Yeah, they're going to do a whole comedy thing.
They may make me drop $1,250 to go. I love Key and Peele, dude.
Yeah, you're gonna catch one of them at the Continental Breakfast enjoying himself.
Hey, I bumped into Jeff Ross when I was in Vegas. So, anyway,
Jeff Ross, really, Roastmaster Jeff Ross?
Yeah, like he was right in front of me, and I was like, "Wow, that guy's head's shiny." And I was like, "Oh, that's Jeff Ross." And I was like, "Oh, Jeff," and he kind of looked at me. I was like, "What's up, man?" He was like, "Hey," and I walked past him at the MGM Grand.
Oh, you're like, my name is Jeff too, and then have a whole uncomfortable conversation.
Yeah,
about 2S versus 1F.
As uncomfortable as Kerpel Kirshner and Nikolai Volkov when I met them in New Orleans,
but not as uncomfortable as Sting at WrestleCon or at
oh no,
StocktonCon.
I want to be like Homer Simpson and back into the bushes,
fade into the bush.
Yeah, that was hella funny. You texted me, you're all, dude, you need to go to the KISS, and I'm like, I just got motionless and white tickets. And that was $52.
Yeah.
There's a difference of about $1,200 or
around that. Yeah, about $1,200.
This is my year of concerts, dude. I'm making up for lost times this year.
And not just that, it's your year of wrestling too, because we're going to Forbidden Door in San Jose in June. You picked up tickets for us.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, I did not expect you to want to go. Like that came out of the blue. I was not expecting that.
Well, when you can go to a wrestling show for $50 and it's almost in your backyard, why not? I haven't been. I thought about this. Like, I have not been to a wrestling show since WrestleMania 39.
Whoa, what? Wow.
Yep. Went to Vegas last year. Didn't go to the show.
Mm-hmm.
Went to Philadelphia the year before that. Didn't go to the show.
Smart move on that one. Everybody was coming home with the Philly flu with that one.
Oh, that was horrible, man.
Oh, dude, that was brutal. But anyways, yeah. But yeah, so really 39 is your last one, huh?
That's it. 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago at this point. Yeah. So I'm long overdue for a show. And when you can get tickets for $55, hey, well, I am all in.
I see what you did there, because that's a pun. That's a play on AEW's. I see what you did there. No, this is what AEW needs to do right now. They need to basically capitalize on everybody's frustration with TKO.
Yeah, and be the Pepsi to WWE's Coke.
And you know what I'm noticing is a lot of people, a lot of WWE diehards are frustrated with the prices of TKO, and it feels like there's a lot more that are open to AEW now, where before it was like the tribalism, right?
Yes.
But now it seems like there's a lot more WWE fans willing to give this a shot.
And that's good. That's good.
And that's great, because AEW needs to capitalize on all this right now.
Yeah.
You know, they see a lot of people frustrated with WWE, whether it's storylines, whether it's the amount of stuff that they're forking over right now that we have to pay at, WrestleMania or whatnot.
And just becoming very corporate, dude.
Exactly.
With all those commercials during WrestleMania, it was ridiculous.
I think commercials got more airtime than the wrestling matches, right?
When you broke it down, yeah, it was either equal or it tipped a little more in favor of the ads. But yeah, it was ridiculous, man. So yeah, they're presenting, or they're going to need to present themselves as a viable alternative to WWE in terms of price, in terms of storylines. So now is their time to capitalize. And next year with WWE being in Saudi, and we've talked about this for a few weeks now, they've got to put on a show during that time. not to necessarily compete head to head, but they've got to do something to have the alternative here in the States.
Exactly. And you know what? If they can get hot and really just feed off of what TKO is losing right now, then that will open up some eyes to some toy makers, because the rumors have been out there. And nothing's been announced, but the rumors are that Jazzwares and AEW may be splitting at the end of that contract.
Yep. And it looks like the figures might be moving over to the Jazzwares vault too, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, exactly. So, maybe this will open up not only eyes to the fans that were like, oh, you know what? I like that Kenny Omega guy. I like the Young Bucks, yada, yada, yada. But it will also open up eyes to maybe some toy makers that are like, okay, maybe we can do something with this. Jazzwares didn't have the best of run with them, but you know what? We can do something with this. So we'll see. Maybe it will open up other avenues for AEW.
It could. I mean, who knows? Watch McFarlane pick up the AEW license. No, I'm just kidding. That's definitely not going to happen. No, but I could see them moving to more. And we've talked about this with the whole, if they split from Jazzwares thing, I think an online model would make a lot of sense for them, at least for the first year or two, see how sales are, and then look at a big box store format. But I think for the size of AEW right now, I think an online model works best. But we want the figures to stick around. We want AEW to stick around. There's got to be that competition. We can't have the monopoly, right? Because when you have these releases we just talked about, it gives the wrestlers an alternative. So the more the merrier. Keep them in business, keep them going. But I do like having the alternative out there in terms of not just, storylines and names, whatever, but it comes down to price too. Because like you said, a lot of the diehard, hardcore WWE guys feel like they're being pushed aside. Mm-hmm. They're being priced out of the thing that they've supported for a long time. In our case, how many years? Like 40 years now. Geez. So yeah, it's got to change, and it's not changing. So AEW has the door wide open right now. Yeah, it's their dance floor right now. So, Scott, did you pick up anything real quick? No, I picked up Kiss Cruise tickets and the AEW Forbidden Door tickets in June. And my wallet said, what in the hell are you doing to me? So I stopped. All right. Perfect. It was like, stop touching me. So I did. All right. Made pre-order for Collect Major. Danny Davis in wrestling gear. Yes, Danny Davis is getting his action figure. Not his first action figure, but he's getting an action figure in wrestling gear. And the British Bulldog with the Union Jack robe, along with Matilda. Those are the May pre-orders. Winston. Oh, Winston. All English Bulldogs are Matilda to me, dude. Mine is. Right. Your dog's name Matilda. The Bulldog's name is... Yeah, dude. Okay, you're right. Winston. I got to change that on our notes. And I actually remember that because I watched WrestleMania 7 the other night. Of course. And so they cut the promo with British Bulldog, and Mean Gene mentioned, or British Bulldog mentioned Winston. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's not Matilda. Okay, Boss Fight Studio, Solaire, and... Ultimo Dragon. I'm changing that on the notes too, because I just got my Dragon Lee today. Yep. Now you could still get Dragon Lee. I think he's still available on, and Roosh is available still on BBTS, I believe. Oh, jump on. Okay. If you guys are going to pick any of those up, pick up the Dragon Lee. If you guys can pick up both, perfect. Please do. But that Dragon Lee, do not skip on. The Dralistico has been getting a lot of love too on social media since he's been hitting fans' hands. Uh-huh. And that figure's been getting a lot of love for sure. Like you said, Boss Fight is just killing it on their figures right now. Hastle Toys, Raven Regium and Ahmed Johnson Regium available over at Hastle Toys. KWK May pre-orders, Great Sasuke and Hayabusa. And to say these figures are not incredible would be a lie. These figures are absolutely beautiful. Thinking back, Great Sasuke's mask has always been one of my favorite masks, and I don't know why. For sure. It looks awesome. And looking at the painted prototypes that Sean has been showing off, this figure is going to be awesome, dude. If I have it by the end of this year, I can see it hitting the top 11. Oh, sweet. Okay, well, there you go, Sean. Those are high marks from the Simon Cowell of the podcast. Both figures are limited to 500 pieces each. Also available, Hayabusa Pearl White version. And that one's limited to 200 and is a J&J exclusive.
Also sticking with KWK, Sam Adonis is the Club Kayfabe exclusive for this month, limited to 100. That is everything for KWK for the month of May. All right, jumping into the news, Toymakers. Who is Toymakers, Scott?
Who is Toymakers, Jeff?
Toymakers is making a Rey Mysterio vinyl figure. It's very anime-esque, anime box, and anime-looking figure.
You know what it reminds me of?
What's that?
It reminds me of those canceled DC Lucha figures. It kind of reminds, the look of it kind of reminds me of that a little bit, that were canceled years and years ago.
Yes, great call. Yeah.
So it's a cool looking figure. I mean, it's a pass for me, but I think the figure is very, very cool. And like you said, made by Toymakers, very cartoonesque.
Yeah. I'll have more information regarding the next week about this Toymakers, but just saw the pictures of Toymakers Rey Mysterio vinyl figure. As I said, anime looking figure, anime box, anime figure. Funko, Tiffany Stratton, Penta, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and Demolition were announced this past week. No figures were shown off. It was just live shots of the wrestlers. And Scott, are you breaking your no Funko rule? TBD.
To be determined. I want to see the Demolitions. Like you said, we didn't see actual shot.
Yeah.
So I want to see the Demolitions Funkos.
Okay. All right. A little bit of news regarding Top Rope Collectibles, Paul Orndorff. I wanted to make this post. This is from Top Rope Collectibles. I wanted to make this post yesterday, but I was hoping the outcome would change overnight. It did not. Unfortunately, the factory have decided to split Paul Orndorff at the neck. Well, that doesn't sound right.
That sounds painful.
Making the upper body two separate pieces. Whilst, hey, there's that word again.
There it is.
Whilst the reasoning has since been explained and kind of makes sense. This was done without my sign off and is unfortunately too late to change. The jawline protrudes too much, meaning it struggles to pull out. The resolution should have been to modify the head to fit the molding as one piece. Instead, they went with what they thought would be the best outcome. It wasn't. Not for me, anyways. This is the gentleman from Top Rope Collectibles talking, by the way. I'm not one to throw anyone under the bus, but he's totally throwing him under the bus. That's not what this post is about. Maybe there was an opportunity to spot this earlier and I missed it. So I'll take accountability for that missed opportunity. Going forward, at a grown man playing with toys, and I will be hot as shit on this sort of thing. And I have informed the factory that any decision of this magnitude must go through me. For those who have ordered Paul Orndorff, please accept my apologies for this. The final samples are on the way to me, and I will assess how much of an issue this is when in hand. Production is well underway, hence why it is too late to change. The good news is the mirror effect looks great, as does the white boots on the blue variant. Lastly, the hole in the hand that holds the mirror looks very subtle, and I think you'll be pleased with your non-mirrored variants. I'll end by saying that I am making everyone aware of this now. It may not even be an issue for anyone, but I wanted to be in the open and transparent for you to all understand the situation. So in the meantime, whilst he's waiting for the prototypes.
Well done.
I was trying to
use it properly.
All right. Unlike a couple of weeks ago, I was just trying to shoehorn it into
anything. Yeah.
Anything. But I like how he's being transparent, very KWK-esque. You know, Sean's transparent. We love the transparency, unlike some toy makers in the wrestling figure game. However, the transparency is there from Top Rope Collectibles.
Yeah. And as a collector who spends a lot of money on wrestling figures, believe me, it's very appreciated. All we need is the communication. That's it. And nobody's blindsided by anything. Makes us very happy.
Okay. Going back to Hastle Toys, promotional consideration. You know what that means.
Paid for by the following.
Lord Alfred Hayes was shown off. The prototype was just shown off. Looks good from the prototype so far. We'll see what it looks like painted. But so far, Mitch is looking like he's hitting a home run with the Lord Alfred Hayes.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to pick that one up, dude.
Oh, you're going to get, you know what? It fits into the 80s shelf.
It really does. I could see it just right next to Mean Gene and Jesse. And it looks so good. So I can't wait to see the painted one, the painted prototype, because that one just looks so good right now.
Scott kind of mentioned it earlier. Jazzwares, the complete bundle of what series is this, Scott?
92?
Wait,
Oh,
13.
I was close.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, you can pick it up on Jazzwares Vault. You will get Kyle Fletcher, the regular and the chase, Chris Statlander, Kenny Omega, and Hook coming with the FTW title. That is Wave 13 on Jazzwares Vault.
That Statlander figure is really good.
All right, Mattel Ultimate Edition 34, Io Sky, and this is the one where I was telling you kind of she was pointing to the head, Bronson Reed, Brock Lesnar. We saw these at the World. However, we now see them in a lineup. So it'll be Io, Bronson Reed, Brock. WWE Best of Retro Series, Kane, Diesel, John Cena. We talked about that one. Oh no, my Diesel's value is going to go down, Scatoon.
Wow.
Oh no. Oh no.
I mean, look, if you're in it for money, that sucks for you. I'm in it because I want to see everybody get the figures that they want. I'm not in it to sell my collection. I just like collecting figures.
This one was interesting. And there was a lot of people that were not too happy with this. Best of Coliseum Collection. Now, as everybody knows, Coliseum Collection is a ode to LJN.
It's been that way since the first release.
Best of Coliseum Collection, Yokozuna and Kane.
So I almost mentioned it last week, Jeff, and I decided that I didn't want to jinx the line. When we were talking about the Demolition Coliseum collections upcoming, we were like, this is amazing because they really did go out of the box here and they made Smash, who, as we all know, was not in the original LJN line. Axe was, Smash was never released. So I was going to say at the time, did the line jump the shark here in including a figure that was not in the LJN line? You understood why they did it, but from what Steve had said is that they wanted to stay very true to the LJN line, and that inclusion of Smash really broke that, right? But I even said it last week, I'll allow it. It's okay. I didn't throw in the line about jumping the shark because I didn't want to jinx it. I should have just gone ahead and said it, because what they did effectively right here is they jumped the shark. And the collector side of me is crushed because the Coliseum collection was a full completion line for me. I can now say I'm out. I am not collecting Coliseum collection anymore because this is now taken on something else entirely. This is not anything to do with LJN. And that is 100% the sole reason I was in as a completionist on the Coliseum collection line. So these two names, for that reason, I'm out.
Altogether, or just?
I'm out on completing it. Of course, if they release like a Coco Beware or a Magnificent Morocco, of course I'm going to pick them up. And it's a good thing that they're not in 2-packs anymore for that reason too. Mm-hmm. Because if they put out, say, like, I don't know, Logan Paul and Junkyard Dog, well, I'm not going to want a 2-pack of that. So Thankfully I can get the single figures. And I start to wonder, is this the reason they went single figures? Because they were running out of names that they can do for LJN. And they're like, okay, we want to continue with this cool packaging we got. We'll just call it Coliseum Collection and start to put other guys in the line. You can't even say that, oh, okay, Mattel made LJN style figures of Kane and Yokozuna because they haven't.
Right.
So there's no rhyme or reason for them calling this Coliseum Collection. I'm at a loss, but it's not what we knew as the Coliseum Collection moving forward, as far as I'm concerned.
I don't understand the Best of Coliseum Collection. Why did they just call Best of Ultimate Edition?
Best of Ultimate Editions. They already have that series ongoing.
Like, why did Coliseum Collection have to be thrown into this? This didn't make sense. I'm
at a total loss, and I would love to hear the interview with Steve when it happens as to why they decided to go this route. But again, this now kills off my need to be a completionist on the line, because the only reason I was doing that, the sole reason, was because it was a love letter to LJN and it was done so perfectly. Yep. And now they threw that out the window, and I'm frustrated. I mean, look, if you missed out on that Yokozuna and now you have a chance to get it, I'm super happy for you. And if you missed out on that Kane that came with the ring and now you can get it, I'm super happy for you. But just, Mattel, take the name Coliseum Collection. I mean, look, unless you're out of names entirely and you're done with being an LJN centric series, then fine, whatever. But just tell us that, you know?
Well, we kind of need Brian from the LJN podcast to kind of run down this list with us, but let's kind of do a quick Rolodex of how many people are still left in the LJN line that they can still do right now. So they just got Hillbilly Jim back.
Yes. JYD, Big John Stud.
When was the last time we got a Big John Stud? Was that the Elite Legend?
2 years ago? Yeah, it was the Elite Legend.
Does he still have a contract?
I don't know, but you still got the managers too, right? Jimmy Hart,
You still
Mr.
got
Fuji, Bobby Heenan,
Davey Boy.
Yeah, you've got Davey Boy. They lost Warlord, so you can't do Warlord.
Correct. Even though Davey Boy wouldn't have Dynamite, you could still kind of maybe mix and match or something like that to get somebody else in that line.
Tito Santana.
Yeah, they haven't done a Tito, huh?
No, not in the Coliseum line. They've got him upcoming in Matador in the Elite Legends, but
yeah. So they could have stretched this out just a little bit longer for the Coliseum collection with LJN names. Now, are those names desirable? Good question. We don't know. But at the same time, like, change the name like that. It just doesn't fit, because what you told us what the Coliseum collection was going to be doesn't line up with these two names that were just given out.
This ain't it.
Well, maybe Steve has answered this on the message boards again. This past week I was in Denver, so I didn't get a chance to hit up the message boards. I'm going to try to I'll have much more next week, stuff from the world. They did a Q&A. When I say they, RSC did a Q&A, and hopefully Steve has answered some questions on the message boards. So we'll have a lot more information next week. Maybe this is one of the questions that's answered.
My theory on it is Coliseum collection wasn't performing to what they were kind of hoping. And like you said, the names that are left would kind of continue that trend.
Mm-hmm.
So they want to keep going on with the LJN inspired packaging, because now they have a full LJN line going. This will be a nice companion to that line. So they're not going to limit it to LJN names anymore. It's just going to be everybody in the pool.
All right. Yeah, I had a feeling we'd be talking about that one for a little bit.
Well, I mean, we still will be. I want to know the reason why, but it always comes down to money, I think. And I think maybe what was left on the table wasn't going to be big human monies for them. So they're like, let's just pivot. We've got the LJN line going. People are a fan of the packaging. So we'll just keep the 6-inch figure and the LJN going. Moving forward, we'll just put other names into it. So I guess the entire roster is fair game now. So soon you'll have a Coliseum collection John Cena, I'm sure.
More than likely. Speaking of John Cena, Elite Greatest Hits, John Cena, Gunther, and Roman Reigns. Perfect
Segue, right? It's almost like I planned it that way without notes in front of my face.
And Best of Ultimate Edition Series 9, Brett, Gunther, Rey Mysterio, and Eddie Guerrero.
4 names. Ultimate Edition series of 4 names. That's a lot.
Yeah, best of. But again, that's one where we're kind of scratching our head. Why didn't you throw Yoko and Kane in there and, push a couple off to later lines or something? Anyways, we just had that conversation.
Yeah, this really blindsided me this week. And I was so confused.
It blindsided a lot of us, dude. Like, for us Coliseum collection diehards,
yes,
it didn't make sense. We were completely baffled.
Yep. It would be no different with the retro line. If it was supposed to see, that's what saved Mattel with the retro line, is they came out of the gate like, okay, we're going to give you Hasbro inspired figures, but the entire roster is open game. Okay, cool. Had we known that about the Coliseum collection from the jump, right? So instead of, who was the original set? I think Hogan and Terry Funk.
Yeah.
Instead of Hogan and Funk, they gave us Hogan and Cena. That sets the tone for the line moving forward, but that hasn't been the case.
Mm-hmm.
They've all been LJN centric. So just completely caught off guard, and I'm still upset about it. But at the same time, my wallet's like, okay, good. You just bought tickets to Kiss. It's going to break the bank for a while. Bought your AEW tickets. Now you can ease up on this Coliseum collection, dude.
That is all the news for this week. As I said, I'll have more news for you guys next week. Hopefully Steve answered some questions on the message boards. I do have to go back over the world interview with RSC, so that will be next week as well. But That's where we're going to cut it this week. I wonder if Brian has any other names of LJN guys that have licenses that could be made into figures.
I don't know if they can still do Mr. Wonderful.
Mr. Wonderful's last figure.
It was a few years ago in the Legends line, right?
Year and a half ago?
Yeah. He was in the robe, right?
I'm wondering if they still have that license.
I really don't know. Can they still do Morocco? I think they can. I think they could still do Morocco.
I would believe so.
I think they can. Okay. So, I mean, you still got names that you can pump out. Like, I think the managers would be an outstanding line.
Mm-hmm.
But it's looking less and less likely if we're going to get that Heenan Coliseum collection.
But that's where we'll end it right there. Go check out our buddy. Speaking of Brian over at the Legendary Wrestling Figure Podcast, check his podcast out. Again, that's the LJN Podcast, Legendary Wrestling Figures, with the great, the wonderful Brian. TB Toycast with Breaker and Travis, of course. Steve and Eric doing the Positively Pro Wrestling Podcast, Work the Arm Podcast with Jeff and Jamie. Ryan Buds doing Trivia with Buds. And Seth, Sheena, and Marco doing Chick Fully Show. And of course, Rucker and EJ doing Boot to the Face. All right, Scott, now you can get to bed.
Yeah, a long day. Yes. A quick question before we move on from the whole Coliseum collection thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're not doing the box sets anymore, the 2 in a box.
Mm-hmm.
Any disappointment that they never tried to do a tag team box with the 6-inch figures?
What do you mean? I see what you're saying. Missed opportunity.
I think so. I think that could have looked really slick with the tag team titles right in the center, and then a figure on either side. I think they could have made that work. And I think the packaging team would have just absolutely killed it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to agree with you. Missed opportunity. Because I'm pretty sure it's not coming at this point. We have to basically bank all of our hopes into the LJN line right now that we're going to get a tag team box a la 1986. But I think, yes, I agree with you. Missed opportunity for the Coliseum collection line.
Yeah. The Coliseum collection, that was one that I was happy with because it's keeping with the form of LJN, just updated figures, not just your big rubbery guys that you get at Target. This is actually articulated Ultimate Edition figures. And we've already harped on this enough, but it's just, I don't know. It was kind of deflating to see that this past week.
The end of an era, Jeff.
It's a good way of putting it.
And it'll go down as one of my favorite series that Mattel ever did.
Ooh, that's a good question. What is your favorite series Mattel's ever? Superstars right now for me is a home run if I could find them, but that would definitely be up there on my Mount Rushmore of Mattel series.
Yeah, and it's not even done yet, right? It's still ongoing, but it's already made your list of a top 3, top 5 series that they've done. Yeah, it sucks, man. I've been disappointed about this all week. Like, it's real, like it shouldn't be bothering a 52-year-old man this much, right? But it really is. Like, it bugs me so bad that at least give us a heads up. Like, hey guys, the format's changing.
Mm-hmm.
Then we can kind of prepare ourselves. But it was just like, I don't know, like a slap in the face. Like, hey, look what we got. Psh. You're like, oh wait, you're changing course. You didn't tell us first. Like, not that they owe us an explanation, but come on, it would have been nice,
Yeah. All right, Scott. For episode 536, anything else?
Stay safe, stay healthy. Fig Life since 2016. Happy toy hunting, and be good to each other out there.
I want to thank everybody for listening to episode 536, 464 to 1,000.
So no complaining about your fantasy score this week. You're just going to let that go. You're not going to.
Oh, dude, my butthole's so sore.
You did this last year too. You complained early in the week, and then by Sunday you had me totally beat.
Okay, so we'll continue the show right now. This is a live update. This is how bad Scott's beaten me. The score right now is 203, which nobody in the league has 200 points, to 155. So
that's not even 50 points, dude. You hung up 50 yesterday.
Yeah, I had a bunch of guys going double headers. It doesn't matter. Dude, there's no way. There's absolutely
listeners. Stop, Jeff. Have you heard this before?
Oh, come on now. So I thought I had a good chance. Like, I woke up this morning, I was thinking, okay, maybe I can chip away at the lead against Scott like I did yesterday. I get off the airplane today at 6:40, And Scott had 49 points. 49 points in 2 hours. Like, I started crying, whimpering, dog that's getting beat, that type of thing. That was me today, getting off the airplane. Walking funny.
Here we go. So we're gonna follow up next week so y'all can have a good laugh when Jeff's like, by the grace of God, I beat Scott by 26 points.
Thursday was my day to try to make it up, and I did. I did an okay
You did.
job,
Yeah, you did a great job.
but it wasn't enough. There was no way, especially when you're hanging up a 52 burger today. So
Tides change, dude. Luck changes. It's a whole thing.
people must hate baseball now because of us.
Because we talk about it so much.
Absolutely.
At least it's at the end of the show. They could have turned it off already. They're not listening.
I know
to this
these two jerks are talking baseball.
First they cry about LJNs, now they cry about baseball.
Well, Scott's not crying. Scott's wearing the crown this week. He's about to get tree fitty,
Tree fitty.
All right. Adios.
Yeah. Fullyposeable. Let's go. Jef and Scott, the Toon Brothers, busting out the ring. But we don't take it out the box, MOC. Happy toy hunting, we'll see you next week. We're the OGs of WFP. Fullyposeable, thank you all for listening. It ain't no storyline, real life siblings. So everybody go and do your toy spotting. #FigLife, adios from the Kings.